Communication in any classroom is key, but the new normal in classrooms for teachers and students is mask wearing, which has many parents wondering how covering up might be impacting their kids when it comes to speech and language development. Well, the Speech Sisters, Brooke Dwyer and Bridget Hillsberg, are certified speech therapists and real sisters who have tips for parents to help their babies and little kids meet some of those speech milestones. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here because I think this is something that is, among all the concerns that parents have right now, something that is definitely on their mind when it comes to their child's speech and language development, because there's mask mandates. And now that we're covering up this portion of our face, we're really realizing how much we're actually like lip reading and taking those cues.
Absolutely. So much of language learning really is both auditory and visual.
So what are some of the situations that you guys are running into, and maybe things you're hearing from parents or seeing with some of the kids that you're working with when it comes to the impacts of mask wearing?
I just think many parents are concerned that it's going to impact their child within the classroom because the lack of visual cues does not allow a child to rely on those cues and just rely on the auditory cues in order to learn language and new words and socialize. So they're concerned that it's going to be a struggle for their child to learn within the classroom and learn new information.
So, Brooke, one of the things you guys do is work with parents. You give them advice and tips and just kind of strategies to make sure that the kids are developing correctly. What kinds of things are you telling parents and caregivers and educators as well?
So for caregivers and educators who have to wear a mask around a child, we really want to emphasize speaking clearly, exaggerating their speech, and speaking slowly. Another thing would be raising your speaking volume. So talking a little bit louder, projecting your voice. And then the other thing for volume would be decreasing background noise. So making sure that music is turned down if you're in a daycare center so that the child can really just focus on you and doesn't have distracting noises to focus on.
Are you finding that more kids are having any kind of speech delay or issues because of the masks?
You know, we think it's a little too soon to tell. Obviously, there's limited research because this is all happening real time. One thing that we do know and that we want to stress to parents so much is that the time that you have at home with your child is priceless. You want to have as much face-to-face time as possible because that is where the language learning really happens. You want to make a language-rich home environment, and that's kind of our whole mission, is to teach parents how to build language during the everyday routines that you are already doing at home each and every day, and really allow your child to watch your face and your mouth as you articulate words and sounds.
Yeah, literally keep that conversation going, keep the dialogue open at home for more than one reason. Now, if parents maybe are concerned, what are some signs? How can they maybe assess themselves that their child may be having an issue with their speech and maybe something is delayed?
So you always want to make sure that your little one is meeting what we call communication milestones. And a milestone is what about 90% of that given age group is able to do. So we always want to make sure little ones are meeting those milestones for both receptive, and that's listening skills, and expressive language, which is more talking. And if they're not, we always urge parents to reach out to their pediatrician and or a certified speech and language pathologist for an evaluation.
And in general, what do you tell parents? Because I know fellow parents that I've met, sometimes they start to freak out if their kid isn't developing as quickly as another child that's maybe the same age. But it doesn't mean something's wrong, right?
Right. There's really a range. Every child is different, every child is unique, and that's why those milestones I think are so important because like we said, that's kind of a picture of what approximately 90% of that age group can do. So there's a big range of what is typical or expected or normal, but those milestones are the real marker that you want to focus on. And if not, then you want to reach out for help.
All right, well, these are all great tips And yeah, parents, don't freak out, but yes, make an extra effort with those masks because it is a little harder to speak and understand each other these days. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. If you want more from Brooke and Bridget, you can visit them. They're on Instagram at Speech Sisters.